We're here today to check out some more cricket.
But should we just call it like Cricket Tuesday or something like that?
Cricket Tuesday.
Cricket Tuesday.
Cricket Tuesday.
It was repeating itself. Can we just see that?
It's so true, though.
Okay, well, first of all,
true.
Mitch Johnson, Brett Lee, MS Dhoni, with all that boring stuff out of the way, this is a very important, momentous occasion. All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
And me and Gabe are ready for another Cricket Tuesday.
Man, I can't wait till we back in the same room. But guys, you already know Cricket Tuesday is the granddaddy of them all. This is really what started our journey into cricket. And in light of India's unbelievable feat out at the Gabba, of course, in Australia in general, there's been so much conversation around Virat Kohli, right? And, honestly, and somebody said the other day, guys, you haven't seen the best of Virat Kohli in the last year since we first started watching cricket. He has not been that typical Virat Kohli, because we look at the stats and we look at all the videos or whatever, and we see that this guy is an absolute savage. But just this last year, and I don't know, he's got a lot going on in his life, not just COVID, but think about bringing in a baby into the new world during COVID. Think about the fact that he was traveling with his team while his wife was pregnant during COVID. Those things can't be easy. And people that don't understand how those things affect, affect you and your life, it's a very big commitment to be away from your spouse while she's pregnant. And that was for long periods of time. In boxing, when I was boxing, I remember, we'd start training camp and it'd be like 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. You don't just show up day of fight, you know what I'm saying? And that takes a toll. It takes a toll. So that could be one of the things, or one of the reasons for maybe his lack of performance. Maybe he's just in bad form. But as our viewers over at CFA Nation like to tell us all the time, form is temporary, but class is forever. And Virat Kohli is a class player.
Absolutely. And like Gabe says, we have yet to see King Kohli, as they say. Now, with saying that, we've seen it at least 5 or 6 or 8 half centuries, which is amazing, right? Anyone else, that's a good day at the yard. But this guy, I mean, he is on that other level, that upper echelon, if you will. And so we've been expecting to see, like, okay, I have centuries, cool, but what else do you got? I'm not just talking necessarily about centuries either. I'm talking about leadership, captaincy. So we just haven't seen it yet. All right. And so for those of you who clicked on this video because you love Virat Kohli and you hear us start talking like, how dare they not praise him constantly? Try to understand where we're coming from. We started in basically January of 2020 watching cricket for the first time. And so we have not yet seen his greatness. And yes, we can watch the old videos and the old highlights, but we haven't seen it in person yet. So that's all we're saying. The guy's still amazing. So we thought, like Gabe said, before match 3 against India and England, let's give some tribute to Kohli. Now, this specific video here, this has the song Kar Har Maidan Fatah, which I believe is from a film, and I think it might be Sanju. I'm not exactly sure, but it's from a movie, and we are definitely going to have to dub out the song and replace it with a copyright-free song because we don't want to get any strikes or anything like that kind of nonsense with this video. So if you're looking forward to hearing that song, we're sorry. We had to change the song, but what's happening here is just different things about Kohli, and hopefully we can watch this and get a better sense of what King Kohli really is. Before we do us a huge favor. Just go ahead and scroll down on your phone or on your computer, look down, click that like button for us if you like what you hear, if you know you're going to like what you're going to see. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so as well. And if there's other YouTubers out there that check out cricket, go support their channels. Go watch them as well. We want as much cricket as possible in our lives. You support their videos, they're going to make more for you. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this. Gabe, let me know when you're ready.
I am ready, my friend.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
I never wanted to be a one-dimensional sort
It
of.
is a great song, isn't it? ODI
He
average.
says there he doesn't want to be a cricketer. He wants to be his own person. Fastest to all those runs.
Wow.
4,100s in ODI.
Jeez.
Number 1 ranked. We know about the passion, right? We know about
Absolutely.
The passion, the tenacity.
And I think sometimes that's what rubs people the wrong way, bro. But I'd rather have a player that's gonna fight like that.
Jeez. That was Jeter-esque right there, injuring the body to save it. Oh yeah. I wonder how injured he was.
Is that Patty Cummings?
Woo. Those last 2 shots, he's kept his footwork kind of pat right there, but he changes his footwork a little bit when he wants to.
That's the thing. He's not just a power guy. He's got so many shots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it appears that way for sure. I mean, he's in amazing shape, too. He's very fit. Woo!
94 off of 50. That's
Off your boys?
off my Wendy's.
Highest run chase.
Look at his face. That's hilarious.
Unflappable. Again? That's Pollard.
Is that Pollard? That didn't look like him. That's Williams. Williams, actually.
No, I think Williams on the other side. I swear that was Pollard. See, the score is a little different on this one. Oh, Cottrell.
Oh, man.
Straight drive right there. Oh,
Just
look
a
at that.
flick
He's
right
just
there.
messing with it. Little flick of the wrist.
Oh, sledging. No.
The
I
Wallen.
love it.
Sign him up.
You gotta love the fire.
Wow, in a run chase, I'd bet my life on Virat Kohli. NASA. He reminds me of myself, Sir Viv.
Richard.
Woo! I love the quotes. Gives me everything like that. We're gonna talk about that quote afterwards. RCB?
Yeah. Whew.
Is that who was that? Sandeep?
Got pumped right there.
113 with 8 stitches in his left hand.
Just a fiery guy, man. You gotta love it.
Absolutely. I mean, you called it great song, right? But if I had my way, I would love oh, it's one of my favorite songs. I can't think of the title right now. The main song from the trailer for Yuri Surgical Strike. A little faster, right? That would be awesome for that type of video. But that was a great video. That was put together by Fearless Network. Fearless Network. Good job putting that video together, guys. Go ahead and support his channel and see what he's got going on. He or she has got going on over there. But let's not forget something. That was a whole lot of batting, right? Let's not forget that he's a right arm medium bowler too. Okay, let's not forget about that.
Stop it.
I love that. I love what that quote was saying right there. He says, "My bat is my weapon. It gives me everything in life." And you know, you gotta be careful, right, to put too much on an inanimate object. But if you think about it, take the bat out of Kohli's hand. Is he King Kohli? Right? And you can say about a lot of cricket players, obviously. But that bat and how he's learned to use that tool, I would say a tool. I like how he says, that's Kohli by calling it a weapon, right? I mean, that's the tenacity of Kohli by calling it a weapon. I love that quote because he's so right. With me and this bat, I've been able to take myself to so many different places, not to mention marry a beautiful woman, not to mention now be a dad, right? All these different things that he's been able to provide himself and his family in life because of that bat. But man, I mean, 41 ODI hundreds? Can we get one? I mean, can we get on lot A? Can we get one of those hundreds? I mean, this guy is absolutely phenomenal. Gabe, what are your thoughts on King Kohli?
You know, as I'm watching this video, right, and I'm hearing other people like about him, and I'm hearing, you know, reading these quotes, and it just, here's the thing about Kohli, right? And it's not just Kohli, all right? There's a reason why Tom Brady is probably one of the most hated quarterbacks of all time, not just because he's the most winningest quarterback of all time, but it's because he's got that mentality, and they expect greatness out of themselves, but they also expect greatness out of others. All right, they're going to push you as hard as they push themselves. And it reminds me of this match that I watched with RCB between Kohli, one of the great ones he did, performances that we did witness last year, when Kohli and Padicle literally were batting to the end, cousin, and Padicle was done because it was hot out there. You could see like be running between wickets, and Kohli basically carried him on his back, like, no, come on, young fella, we're gonna finish this thing out. And it was just such a, seeing him inspire the other player was amazing. Here's the thing about that. Sometimes that's amazing, but at the same time, it can run people the wrong way, especially when you do fail. And I think Michael Jordan is another great example. Michael Jordan refused to lose. Doesn't mean he never lost, but he refused to lose, and he was always a fighter. He was always a grinder. Kobe Bryant, same thing. And you've got these guys that got that Mamba mentality. That's what it is. I was trying to put my finger on it. He's got that Mamba mentality, that killer instinct, that I don't care who you are, I'm going to walk in there and I'm going to be better than you. All right? You know, rookie year, Kobe was talking about banging with Jordan. And people were like, who is this punk? You know, this I think he was from Italy or France or something like that, because he had gone overseas with his dad and his family. And they're like, who is this punk coming into the NBA? And a few years later, we're like, oh, it's Kobe. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, when you can one word an athlete and just be like, you know what, Kohli, you know, Kobe, MJ, Jeter, you know what I'm saying? Like that's when you become, and it's almost blasphemous to say it, right? Dhoni. I'm just thinking about Brady. Honestly, those guys almost become bigger than the sport. You know what I'm saying? Like the weight of the world is on their shoulders. You know it, but it's because you see them perform and more often than not succeed. And that's just what's amazing. Again, people don't, you can put it in the movie. Jeter on his last game at Yankee Stadium, bro, made a home run. You can't make it up, right? You can't make it up. Last at bat, RBI. I'm like, this guy, some guys just have the ability to rise to greatness. And I just think that's that mentality that Kohli has, man. And I'm super impressed by him. You know, the sledging was super fun too, because sometimes guys kind of shy away from it or whatever. Like, nah, I'm gonna have that bravado because I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna sledge you right back. Because I'm a West Indies fan. I know the West Indies a sledge. And some players may shy away from that. Like, nah, we don't engage in that kind of, bro, you show out there and show you're a man, I'm a man too. You know what I mean? It's that simple. And that's how I look at it.
I think it's from a Rocky film, but it might be from another boxing film. But there's a saying that says it's not about the size of the dog. It's about the size of the fight in the dog, right? It's not about the size of the dog in a fight. It's about the size of the fight in a dog. And I've heard from many, many people in the comment section, like when India was being sledged by Australia in that series or whatever not too long ago, they said if Virat Kohli was there, they wouldn't be sledging him. He wouldn't be having any of it. And that just presence is like, wow. I mean, this guy, he commands that kind of presence where you can sledge if you want, but I'm going to bring it right back to you. It's not going to happen, not on my watch. And you mentioned Kobe, you mentioned LeBron, you mentioned MJ, right? And these are all basketball players, but it's a great comparison because it's not a sport of just one person. With the exception of Tom Brady, because what he just did with the Buccaneers, people are not giving him enough credit because they're sick of Tom Brady winning champions. Unbelievable. Kobe, LeBron, MJ, they don't have championships without players. So I'm going to go bad cop and then good cop. Bad cop would say, how can you put Kohli on the list of those athletes around the world? Because he doesn't have the championships to support it. But here comes the good cop. He needs to have the players around him. It's not just on one person. I'm not going to say that the players he has are scrubs, right? Take about the IPL for a second. He has ABD. He's added other players. But you've got to have those other players. You got to have them firing. Kobe had a dream team in 2004 with Shaq and Gary Payton and Karl Malone. And guess what? They lost to the Pistons, who had no superstars at that time on their team. Right. They became superstars, but that's what happens sometimes. You need those guys refiring. So Virat Kohli, I love the comparisons you made. Tom Brady is just one of those freaks where he goes to a team that hasn't won a playoff game in 20 years, and guess what? We just won a Super Bowl. That just doesn't happen. That does not happen. He's unbelievable. Virat Kohli, though, you see in that video all the accomplishments. You see all the things that he's done. And again, like you said, veracity, presence of mind, not on my watch, all those kind of things, I believe, is what makes him King Kohli. I'm just waiting for that chance to see it live with my own eyes. That would be a glorious thing to behold. You're right. We've seen great performance. I think the one you're mentioning, IPL, he had like 89 or 91 or something like that in the T20 match. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So I'm sure there's great things in store. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know, what are your favorite moments about Virat Kohli? What was the thing where you were watching a match, and maybe it wasn't a century or double century and like that. Maybe it was just a match where you're just like, it was amazing to me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Gabe, any final thoughts on King Kohli?
You know, again, I think that while people are going to say, and I can already see in the comments, oh, other players also had to go through COVID and they're still those players. Some people can, you know what I mean? But I'll tell you right now, those of you that have never played a professional sport and don't understand the rigorous traveling schedule, and now the fact that you got to be quarantined away from your family, again, away from a pregnant wife during that time, I think about Christian Yelich. The guy won the MVP for the Milwaukee Brewers, and last year was one of the worst players in Major League Baseball. And he said, this isn't baseball. This is, with the quarantine, the shortened season, no spring training, it just completely threw him off. And some people are creature of habit. You know what I mean? They've got to have that routine. And unfortunately, for all athletes around the world, because of COVID, that routine was broken. So maybe it's something that affected Kohli. Again, I'm married, okay? 5 kids. And I couldn't imagine being away from my wife for the stretch of time that he was away from his wife while my wife was pregnant. Think about that for a second, okay? Yeah, I'm sure she had other people there helping, in-laws, whatever. Still, that emotional support you get from your spouse not being there when you're going through those trying times as a pregnant woman, like, she also made a huge sacrifice. And I always say athletes' wives also make very, very big sacrifices because they're away a lot and they travel a lot and they have to go through things like birthdays and holidays, pregnancies, for the love of Pete, by themselves. So I think, to me, not that I'm necessarily giving them a pass, but I definitely know that if that were one of the things that, if he would admit affected him, you know what I mean, then it would be like, okay, yeah, I give him that pass. I believe him. But here's the thing about Kohli. He's not the excuse guy. I just got to be better. You know what I'm saying? That's just who the kind of guy he is. And he's even said it, hey, we just got to be better. I got to be better. No excuse kind of guy. And you love that. I absolutely love it. Guys, let us know, like Nick said, what your favorite Kohli video is. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, we know all things.